International Women's Day, Sunday, March 8th, 2026. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. A little early today. Got some stuff going on, but thanks for being here on LCJ Live. We're going to talk box office, a big weekend for one movie, and a not so good weekend for another new movie. We'll get into all of that here coming up on LCJ Live. If you're here live joining us on YouTube, thank you. Send in your questions and your comments. And I've got my pal Mater here with me. Got to catch up with Larry the Cable Guy last Sunday, came to town. And of course, the voice of Mater in the Cars franchise, back with the new Disney Junior series next year. And the 20th anniversary of Cars is this June, which is just incredible. And what a weekend for Pixar. Congratulations to Disney and Pixar in a $46 million weekend for Hoppers, #1 at the weekend box office. Looks like yesterday and today, huge. The Friday numbers combined with the preview showings, and Thursday 13 million, but we're gonna add 33 million to that combined for yesterday and today to get an estimate right now of a $46 million weekend for Hoppers. Onward, this exact weekend 6 years ago, opened to 39.1 million, so we're a little above that. Disney is happy with that. I think they wanted to get this to 50. We're close to that. Maybe it'll even try to do that depending on the numbers today. But they will take a $46 million win, which is much better than the 39 and one of the biggest opens for an original animated film in a long time. Congratulations to Disney and Pixar. They've been promoting this movie like crazy and wanting families to see it. And Goat still did okay this weekend, another 6.6 million. It's at 83.8 for Sony Pictures Animation. It'll probably get over 90 million, which is great. Animation, once again, is the powerhouse medium when it comes to entertainment. The two biggest movies of the past 2 years, the #1 films, animation, Inside Out 2, 2024, Zootopia 2, 2025. We've got Hoppers with 46 million already, Goat with 84 million, off to a good start for animation at the box office for 2026. And it's only going to get bigger with movies like Toy Story 5, Minions and Monsters, New Paw Patrol, Cat in the Hat, Angry Birds movie 3 at the end of the year. I'm probably missing a couple, but it's going to be a big year for animation. Next year's going to be a big year for animation as well. A lot of big titles like Simpsons movie 2, the Bluey movie, a lot happening in terms of animation in the theaters. Families love animation. Oh, Mario, of course. Mario is coming out on April 1st, and that is going to be a gigantic blockbuster. That first one did incredible numbers. I think this one will do as well. Hoppers, $46 million. In second this weekend is Scream 7, which did drop 73%, but I think everybody wanted to see it right away. 17.3 million for Scream 7. It's at 93.4. We passed the 2022 Scream, which did 81. We are going to probably pass the 108 of the other Scream 6 from 2023. How much higher than that? It depends on how it does over the next couple weeks. March is really interesting. You know, we get a couple titles next week, Project Hail Mary and Ready or Not 2 on the 20th, along with a couple other movies I've already seen, Toe and The Pout Pout Fish. 27th, a little quiet, a film called They Will Kill You and a couple other things, Forbidden Fruits. But then you've got April, you've got Mario and Michael and a few titles in between. But Project Hail Mary is going to be the next big movie for March. Will a lot of horror fans still go to Scream 7 over the next couple weeks? I'm not sure. Not many horror fans came out to see The Bride this weekend, just $7.3 million. This is a film Warner Brothers was originally supposed to release last fall. It had one battle after another's late September date at one point. It had the first weekend of October at one point, and then Warner Brothers said, we are pushing this to March. And interesting timing, because the movie opened Thursday, which was the final day of voting for the Oscars for star Jessie Buckley, who is the leading contender to win Best Actress in a Leading Role this year for her performance in Hamnet. She's really good in the movie. She's won everything this award season. But did any negative reviews of The Bride hurt voting for her for the Oscars? That will be really interesting. Could Rose Byrne, I saw her new movie Toe the other night, could Rose Byrne pull off one of the biggest Oscar upsets in recent memory because of any negative reviews from The Bride? Because there were a lot of negative reviews heading into the weekend, and there were estimates for the weekend of having this at 10 million, and it didn't even do that. We'll have to see what happens. I still think Jessie Buckley wins, but I wouldn't be shocked if a few votes did not go her way because of reaction to the bride going, whoa. I mean, you remember the Eddie Murphy situation with Norbit. There have been other cases where timing is very interesting. Timing is everything. When it comes to releasing movies, the award season, the Eddie Murphy example is a classic example with Dreamgirls and Norbit, and Paramount was the same studio behind them. For Warner Brothers to move The Bride into the Oscar voting period, away from conflicting with Jessie Buckley for her performance in Hamnet, but also Warner Brothers has the two big movies up for Best Picture, Sinners and One Battle After Another. The timing of this really interesting. But I'll have my full Oscar picks all week long on various outlets like WAMC Radio. They're on the website, lights-camera-jackson.com. Next Sunday here on LCJ Live, we'll go through all 24 categories, my predictions, and some more outlets later this week. As I mentioned, GOAT is number 4, almost 84 million total. Wuthering Heights, number 5, 3.8 million. It is at 78.8. It is over $200 million worldwide. Number 6 this weekend is Crime 101. It added 2.1 million. It's at 33.6. It is the biggest Amazon MGM film of the year, but Project Hail Mary will take that over. Number 7 is Send Help, which added 1.6 million. It's at 62.8. It is the 7th biggest 20th Century Studios film of all time under that name. Number 8, I Can Only Imagine 2, 1.5 million. It's at 16.2. It's the second biggest Lionsgate movie of the year behind Greenland 2. It might be close to see if it'll be number 1. Number 9 is Epic Elvis Presley in Concert, which added $1.5 million. It's at 11 million bucks. Congratulations to this film for now becoming one of the 10 biggest neon movies of all time. It passed no other choice to accomplish that. And we don't have number 10 yet. It could be Zootopia 2. It could be the re-release of Demon Slayer animated film, Infinity Castle. It could be a horror film called Dolly. It could be Youngblood. I don't think it's How to Make a Killing or that new Mila Jovovich film Protector, but number 10 will be revealed over the course of the morning when you go on box office websites. Next Sunday, as I mentioned, is the Academy Awards. How about the Actor Awards last Sunday? Big surprise, Michael B. Jordan. Is he going to win Best Actor at the Oscars? I think there's a good chance of that. I also think there's a good chance Sinners is the Best Picture winner. How many of the 16 nominations will turn into wins for Sinners? I'm thinking maybe 7. I think that's the number I have right now. One Battle After Another, maybe 4. It's going to be very interesting. Paul Thomas Anderson winning after 14 nominations. He's got it. Whether it's director and adapted screenplay, just one of the two, I think he's got to win at least one of those two. It's going to be adapted screenplay for sure. Director, I believe as well, but Ryan Coogler could be the surprise here. Again, a lot more to talk about this week and next Sunday here on LCJ Live. When it comes to the movies that open next weekend, you have a horror film called Undertone for Friday the 13th. Also, Reminders of Him. This is the latest from the author of Regretting You, and it ends with us, Colleen Hoover. This is from Universal, and it's another romance drama, and maybe some people will go. You know, It Ends With Us was a big hit for Sony. Regretting You made a little money for Paramount. It had small drops over its first few weeks. I'm not sure Reminders of Him is going to have as much of an impact, but it'll make a little money for sure. And a film I have seen that opens Wednesday called The Optimist with Stephen Lang and Elsie Fisher. Elsie Fisher is also in the new Rose Byrne movie, too. The Optimist opens Wednesday. I'll have more thoughts on that tomorrow. But it's a drama that's tried to get released over the last few years and is finally getting released this week. And then you have Project Hail Mary, which is having early screenings in 70 millimeter and IMAX in select theaters around the country. I think Amazon MGM is going to roll that money into its opening weekend. It would be interesting to see if they decided not to do that and just put out the money, because I think most of the showings are going to sell out and it'll have a huge per screen average. So I think they're going to put it into the opening weekend, but maybe they'll make a last minute decision and say, hey, we've officially decided to open the movie March 13 and declare this number for this particular weekend and have the high per screen average. We will see what happens there. I had a great time, as I mentioned, with Larry the Cable Guy, meeting up with him last Sunday. And I have new AnimationScoop.com Q&As and LCJ Q&A podcast episodes with the director and writer of The Pout Pout Fish, which opens March 20th, Ricard Cuso and Elise Allen, and with the cast of Ted. Ted Season 2 is on Peacock right now. outrageous, a lot of fun. I haven't watched every episode, but the episodes I've seen are crazy and very funny. And I talked with the stars of Ted season 2. You got Georgia Wiggum, Max Burkholder, Alana Ubach, and Scott Grimes. I talked with all four of them. Get that Q&A, lcj.podbean.com for those LCJ Q&A podcast episodes, and animationscoop.com as well. They were terrific, so check out those episodes and those interviews. I will be catching up on Hoppers soon. May catch up on The Bride at some point out of curiosity, and same with Scream 7. I've seen The Optimist. I've seen some more movies that come out for the rest of March. Looking into April as well. Watched something last night for April that I can't talk about yet, but an interesting film, and more big movies on the way. So congrats to Hoppers, to Disney Pixar. Huge win for theaters this weekend. Will Hoppers be number one again next weekend? I'm thinking maybe. I don't think Reminders of Him is going to do 20, 25 million, and I'm not sure about Undertone either. So I'm thinking Hoppers is going to be number one again, which would be nice. Then Project Hail Mary comes into play for the final 2 weekends of March. And then you got Mario, which is going to dominate most of April until Michael, the Michael Jackson film, opens at the end of April. Then we're into May. It's Devil Wears Prada 2. It's Mandalorian, some smaller films. June's got some big films. Toy Story 5, of course. Steven Spielberg film, Disclosure Day. And then we're into July and August. There's a lot to look forward to. And next Sunday, finally, the award season ends with the 98th Academy Awards. When we're back here at noon Eastern next Sunday, I will name my predictions in all 24 categories for the Academy Awards, including the new category of casting. How many Oscars will Sinners win, one battle after another? If K-pop Demon Hunters wins both original song and animated feature, it will become the first animated film that is not Disney or Pixar to win multiple Oscars. How crazy is that? I think it'll happen. We'll talk more about it next Sunday here on LCJ Live. As always, go to lights-camera-jackson.com, youtube.com/lightscamerajackson. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. X at LCJ Reviews. Instagram at lightscamjackson. toofast2films.com. animationscoop.com. lcj.podbean.com. And go on all the socials. Get the updates. I'll be posting some Oscar stuff this week and more on some upcoming movies. Thanks for being here for today's episode of LCJ Live. I will see you next time. Have a good week. In the Northeast, it's finally going to warm up for a couple days, which is going to be fantastic. Take care. Bye-bye.